the more important thing is that this has a free-to-play way to do it. So you go in naked, and a lot of people don't make it. Hey guys, in this video, I am going to be comparing Frostborn, one of my favorite games of all times, possibly still my favorite game of all time that I've covered so much on this channel, with this new game called Epic Ape Madness. These games have some similarities, mainly in the fact that they are both co-op games. There's tons of top-down survival games. I've covered almost all of them. Last Day on Earth was the original. We've got Dawn of Zombies. Prey Day Survival was actually co-op. That was the first co-op, but then it died over time. It was pretty rough. And then there was Grim Soul Survival, and then there was Siberica. There's been a ton of them, okay? And but this one's co-op. You can have up to 3 people, teammates that you can't kill in a team, and then you can do PvP with other teams. And so I'm comparing these two games, and I have some very exciting things to share with you guys that I've learned as I've been studying these games. So let me start off by just talking about the zones. This is a clear win for Frostborn. Frostborn is probably going to win in a lot of the typical categories that I have, just because it's just bigger and more developed, and it's more established. But there's some things exciting about this game that you will want to know, that might make you more interested in this game. You might end this episode and be like, wow, Frostborn kind of seemed to win everything, but I'm actually more excited about this game. So I'll let you decide that. I'm just going to kind of give you all the different elements of this game. So as far as zones go, this zone is pretty sparse in this game right now. You got the green zone, which is you can go in co-op or solo. If you have a team, you can go in co-op and your teammates will show up, which is, honestly, I wouldn't be that excited about this game if it didn't have that, because that's one of the things that has always kept me stuck to Frostborn, is that it has the co-op feel. So fun to play with my wife, so fun to play with my friends. And so this is the green zone. You can do it. It's easy. You know, you get some wood, turn it into a bat. If you know how to sneak up on people, you can clear the zone pretty easily. And so then you move up to the yellow zone, and that is these two. And they have a friendly version, a PvE version, and then they have the PvP version, where I assume you get a little bit more stuff at the PvP version, but it doesn't actually look like it's any different, but I think it is. Anyways, I just do the PvE version because usually when I'm grinding the yellow zone, I don't want to worry about it. This is different than Frostborn. Frostborn, as soon as you go to the yellow zone, it has to be PvP. But in Frostborn, they make it to where your chance of encountering someone is pretty low. There's also little time limits in traveling. I'm just going to mention this because I actually don't really care. There's no energy in either game, but you'll notice there's time to travel in this game. There isn't in Epic Ape. You just instantly go, and then you can get into the solo or with friends. Very similar, but there's always PvP in the yellow zone. There's always a chance of PvP in the yellow zone. In reality, they make it to where you're less likely to interact with people. They could make it to where every time you enter the yellow zone, you would see tons of people, because there's enough people playing Frostborn that they could make it to where you're just constantly inundated with other people, but then it would just be a bloodbath all the time. Personally, I don't know if I would mind that, but they didn't do that. That's the way they made Frostborn, is that you could farm a couple zones and never run into a single person. Then you could run into one person who's kind of also timid, and then you run into a team or a person that's ready to kill you. You don't know what you're going to get, and I think that's part of the point of Frostborn. And you can see here that, you know, not only are there more zones just in the main area, there's a lot more zones, but then you've got all of these zones, and then you've got down here these zones, and more zones are going to be opening up. There's a lot more to do in Frostborn, a lot more events. This zone right here is a 1v1v1v1 arena. It's really fantastic. The goal is to get salt. I love the way they implemented that. Epic Ape doesn't have any of those things yet, but yeah, there's still some things that you might at the end of this episode thinking, I'm actually more excited about Epic Ape. I just have to kind of cover all this first so that those of you who aren't familiar with one game or the other can kind of get a good feel for it. So Frostborn's very they're in very different stages of the game. Frostborn is doing seasons. They cover new seasons. Sometimes that's permanent content. Sometimes that's just busy work for us to do to get rewards. And Ape doesn't have any of that stuff. Epic Ape is like, it's just the CBT. It's like Frostborn was when it was in a closed beta. They're just doing the raw components of the game. They don't have a Sanctum of Odin challenge in Epic Ape, which is my saddest thing as far as a co-op game, and why I think Frostborn, for a new player, if you're like, hey, I'm new, I haven't played either game, Frostborn, hands down, experience this game. We have so many videos on it. Go play this game. You're gonna love this game. If you've played a lot of Frostborn, you're like, I've done the Sanctum of Odin enough times to not want to do it anymore. I've done this Mysterious Stone Circle, doing that boss. It's just a boss in the zone, but it's fun to do until it's not. You know, that's kind of how these games are. Anything PvE, it's fun to do until it's not. And that, I guess, is really what it gets down to. The saddest part of Frostborn is that they won't add an arena. And really, like, I'm part of this tournament right now, and people are like, oh yeah, tournament. And these people put so much work into coordinating everyone's schedules. But I just don't have time to like coordinate with my enemy, try to match in the same zone. Okay, we matched. Now we know they're there. Fight. Oh no, I had a bad moment, or someone else showed up. And then it's like, well, okay, the tournament, maybe they'd say, okay, that wasn't fair. That guy came and attacked us. Let's try it again. And then you go back again. It's just very time consuming. Whereas the devs could do the work for us, implement all of that, and they seem to be refusing to, because it has been something that has been again and again and again, please, 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 please add this. And they aren't. They understand. They made it clear that they understand that's what we're saying we want, mainly me and a lot of my followers, and they won't add it. And it makes me very sad. However, they did add this, which is solo PvP. And I'm starting to get good at solo PvP. I just started a new series where I'm going to learn how to be good at solo PvP. I don't know how I feel about it, because I'm really big into the team stuff. And so anyways, that's probably enough about Frostborn. Now I've covered quite a bit about Frostborn. The things I love about it. It's also got a very good developed class system. Yes, there's runes. Yes, runes is ruining the game in the pay-to-win aspect. But if they had an arena, I would still enjoy going in with a good team, because a good team fighting together can overpower runes. Problem with runes is pretty much all of Frostborn is limited to the 1v1 type scenarios right now, and that's where runes they wreck shop. Now, if there's a whole team full of runes, which I'm sure that would happen, then you got problems. But that's why I'm big into the team aspect. So going back to Epic Ape Madness, there is no pay-to-win stuff yet. I say no pay-to-win stuff. You can buy the best gear in the game. So there is pay-to-win stuff. But you can also very easily farm for the best gear in the game. Or at least some people have. It's really confusing whether or not the engine is part of the game or not. They are planning to add it back into the game if they are. If they aren't, then the game's going down south already. I don't think that's happening. I've been talking to the devs. They are very, and here's the way these games work. Even if Epic Ape is everything we ever wanted, it doesn't mean that down the road, once they get the downloads, or the downloads start to peak and start going down, whatever it is, they won't change. And the most amazing developers in the world will change on you. I feel like that happened a little bit in Frostborn, where they were like, yeah, we're going to make all the changes the players want. And then it was like the Kafir, as the overarching corporation, said, nope, we're not going to do that, or what. Things started to go south, and players were like, they're not listening to us anymore. Frostborn's gone up and down. I really do feel like they do still make a lot of changes we asked for, but the arena, team-based arena at least, is something that has never been an issue. Partially because, with the lack of players, it makes it a little bit harder to get. You're going to lack the ability to have good matchmaking. So with that being said, right now, you can go and PvP in the Fair District, bring all the best gear in the game, which I have all the best gear in the game because you get it from the Fair District. I don't have nearly as much as if I had a level 3 weapon stable and sewing station. Some people did get that by just grinding the zones. but other people have spent, you know, a long time trying to get it, and that hasn't really worked out. So honestly, I'm gonna just kind of stop talking about that. I've talked about it in other videos. I'm talking to the devs about it. I really think that that's more of a temporary thing. But the point is, there are skills in the game, and they're not like Frostborn where you can just, you know, totally blow people out of the water. Let me show you some of these skills. So, a chance to do critical damage. I think you can get up to 10%, which is cool. 10% is amazing, but a 10% chance to crit is really just a 10% chance to do double damage. So you do about 10%, a little less than 10% extra damage. But that's not necessarily the best skill in the game. The best skills is actually probably more like medicine effect. You can get up to 30% more healing. And that will change the dynamic of a fight. But free-to-play players can grind and get enough ballers, and then they can go to the shopping district. And this is one of the things that I think is fantastic about this game, is everything is available to you. You can see here's a level 3 weapon that I can buy for 7,000 ballers. I could get 7,000 ballers from the green zone if I farmed long enough. So you can go, everything is available to you. And so let's see, let's go over here to the gear. So yeah, this is level 3 pants that you can get. Thanks for the shotgun. This guy, I needed to give this guy a shout anyways. This guy gave me a level 3 shotgun just out of generosity. Okay, so, but I'm going to show you guys, basically you can get anything in the game really through this right here, through this town using ballers. So, for example, this right here gives 50 skill points of grenade range. This one gives 10 skill points for pistols. It cost 400 and I'm gonna buy that. So this is reload speed. Oh, that would be pretty good too. For PvP, that'd be pretty good. I'm gonna get 10 points to the pistol. I'm gonna get 20 points actually. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna use. Okay, so now I've got in my pistol slot, I've got 20, which I don't think I can upgrade. Yeah, you can't upgrade it in town. You got to go back home. Xena said he just two-shotted someone in PvP with that shotgun. There's a lot of PvP in this game already, and it's just in the CBT. So I think they're doing a different model than Frostborn, where you might not run into someone. I think they're just going to let people match with each other, and it's not going to be a, oh, I might not match with anyone this time. I think you're going to match. And personally, I really love that. It'll make it tricky, but then again, I was doing the third zone, the red zone, the other day and on the solo. And there was a guy who came who was weaker than me, and I couldn't catch him, which goes into skills, because you can actually increase your running speed. And so if you increase your running speed with skills, you can have really crappy gear and still outrun high gear people. So you just need to go when to buy the right stuff. And as you just saw, getting those, I just spent 900 ballers on almost level 3 on the pistol skill. So actually, I thought you could get 10% more damage, but I think it's actually only 5%. I think I got that one wrong. There's other things that I think it goes up faster, but like grenade range goes up 2% per level, so that you can get up to 10% if you want to be able to throw grenades. Reduces reload speed. I think you can get that up to 10%. I think level 5 is the highest. It's the highest I've seen so far. Anyways, so everything in the game is available to you. You just got to go farm ballers, and you can farm ballers like even parts. Like this guy right here, he'll sell you a bunch of parts. Now, I have not run into him selling what I need. Mainly, how much is that? So 1,700 for that is not bad. If you need that, I don't think you really need that. You can get those pretty good. But like if he ever had a motor in here, then I would put 20,000 ballers into that, because why not, right? And so the fact that they add that really saves the free to play versus pay to win, because ballers are easy to get for anyone who's willing to grind. And so you can get anything in the game, and you can only buy what you want to pay for. So like with these skills, y'all saw that I didn't buy any of these other things. It wasn't random. I got to buy exactly what I wanted. So run speed, you get 2% per level. I'm almost to level 2. That would give me 4%. That is a big deal. Tier 2 gear only gives you 4%. Let's look what tier 3 gear gives you. 8%. So I could get with a skill more than the best boots in the game could give me. Okay. And then you go and get these boots, which is 4%, but then you get the extra 10% from skills. You can customize that. Just save up a bunch of ballers, get a bunch of ballers, grind, the green and yellow zones for a ton of ballers, and then you can customize your thing. It's not like Frostborn where there's no free to play way to get runes. Okay. And, it's also not like Frostborn because, 10% extra damage is a lot, but you can get a lot more than 10% extra damage with runes in Frostborn. And this also has the more important thing is that this has a free to play way to do it. Okay, so that I didn't give you the perfect view of everything, right? There's a lot of things. The graphics are not as good in this game as Frostborn, and they probably never will be. This game doesn't seem like they're shooting for, the most epic game graphics in the world. Like Frostborn really shoots to be AAA in that area. This game is like, no, we're just having fun. A bunch of monkeys shooting guns. The difference between this game that gets me most excited, and I'm going to make a whole video on this as soon as I know what I can share, because I don't know what I can share yet. I just know that Brickworks, the creators of this game, who used to be a subsidiary of Kafir. Kafir was the publisher, and they were not. They were the game developers, and they had to submit to Kafir. They were bound by the rules of Kafir. They are no longer, and they got to take their games with them. So Grimsoul, which used to be called Kafir, and Siberica, which used to be called Kafir, are now broken away and are owned by Brickworks. Okay, Brickworks is their own everything. Okay, they run their own thing. And that gets me excited because Kafir, in my opinion, has been stuck with some calculations that they found on some YouTube analytics that is keeping them from achieving the success that, ironically, Last Day on Earth was creating. I've been saying this if you followed my channel, I've been saying this for a long time. I think Kafir's stuck because they don't want to not make money, and they're making money with Last Day on Earth. And they're stuck on some of their ways, and they won't listen to the gamers in certain ways that I think they should listen to the gamers. I talked to some of the Brickworks guys, and I am very excited about they're just wanting to create their own game. They're wanting to have fun, and the fact that they're not bound by Kafir, they're still friends with Kafir. They're not like people aren't against each other. They're friends. They're working with each other. But I was pitching the idea to some of these Brickwork people, some of the ideas that I've had for Frostborn, like going to the shopping center and being able to initiate a trade with someone, and then y'all both confirm what you want to trade, and then you trade. It's a safe trade, no scamming. And they at least said they like the idea. It doesn't mean they're going to implement it, but it's at least they said they like it. And then I also pitched my idea that I've been pitching for Frostborn, though this game inspired me a little bit different, of doing Battle Royale. I don't know if you guys ever played Jurassic Survival, but they had a Battle Royale, and it was fantastic, except it was all bots. The thing that I was telling them in this one that's a little bit modified is I said, what if you made a zone that got harder the more in the middle? And within 10 minutes, someone had to own that computer in the middle, okay? In the outskirts, everyone starts out naked. On the outskirts, there's some chests with some free level 1 gear, okay? And you get a few things, and then and you could fight each other in the outskirts with beating each other with clubs, or you could try to move in where you have to kill a few not as hard mobs, get the chest in there, which might have some better level 1 gear or some level 2 gear. Then you get to the middle, you're probably in all level 2 gear at that point once you've killed a few people, and it's 10 people in the zone and then some mobs that you have to kill. And then you take that computer. Whoever owns that computer at the end of the 10 minute mark, they then get to advance to the next level, and they get to keep the gear that they got. So if they got if they're all level 2 gear and have lots of health, and then they get matched up with 10 more people that all won their round. Okay, so 10 iterations of this, the winners all match each other. So it's kind of like the typical battle royale where there's 100 players and you're going down to 1. But they all carry over their level 2 gear, and then they go to a zone that's similar, except it has mobs all around it from the beginning, and on the outskirts is more level 2 gear, and then as you get into the level 3, potentially level 4 gear. And then at the end, if you win, you take it all home. Okay, so you go in naked, and a lot of people don't make it, right? 99 out of 100 won't make it, but that one guy gets to bring the best gear home, and they had a fair chance. Also, you make it to where maybe you get some consolation rewards. Oh, you made it to the top 10. Here's a green skill book. Oh, you didn't really make it. You don't get anything. I don't know. Or maybe you get a gray skill book, for that. Then I told them, what if you made a new iteration, or like you had that, and that was something we do just for fun, but then you had a ranked version where we bring in our gear, best gear you can find, which, like I said, you can get the best gear in the game free to play in this game. You go in and you can start out with whatever gear you want to start out with. And for someone like me, I might try to start out with level 2 gear and try to work the advantage to where I can find 2 guys with level 3 gear fighting each other and scavenge and get that level 3 gear, and then hopefully win. And then I only gave level 2 gear. Of course, if I had a level 3 workbench or weapon table, then I might as well use level 3 gear, because the one thing I love about this game the most, and why it has so much potential, is once you get those workbenches, it opens up. It makes the game so much easier. When you get the engineering table, furnace, and level 2 weapon table, the game will feel like a completely different game. Zones will feel so much easier. Everything will feel easier. Getting that engineering table is the key to winning the game, and then obviously getting the weapon table is what helps it. So is what gives you the weapons, but you need the engineering table to make it all work. So anyways, the fact that they responded positively to those things gives me a lot of excitement about this game. And honestly, no matter what happens, I am excited that there are 2 games that are friends with each other, that are competing rather than working completely together, because when you're working completely together, you just got the same people calling the shots. You don't want to try new things. The fact that Kefir and Brickworks are now separate, no matter how much friends they are, they're gonna be willing to try things that might compete with each other, and it's gonna make them both stronger. Okay, I promise you that if Epic Ape Madness creates a battle royale that revolutionizes and the game explodes, I promise you Frostborn will say, okay, fine, we'll do it. Or actually, I don't promise you, because they might at that point be so sad. I don't know, but Kefir will make a new game or something. I don't know what's going on, why they make so many new games, but I think it has something to do with player peaks. But so anyways, because of that excitement that it's no longer connected to Kefir, it gives me a hope that I won't see the same exact rut that I see with Kefir. I love Kefir games. I'm not bashing Kefir. I know a lot of people will take anything that I say that might even sound negative, like I'm bashing Kefir. I love Kefir games. I cover all of their games, and I enjoy doing it. I just do think that they're stuck in some ruts that I would love to see a game that's not that developer possibly break free from those ruts. And that's what gets me most excited about this game. That's why I'm going to keep covering it. But overall, if you haven't played either, I would definitely recommend Frostborn. Mainly because, it's hard to play this game. You have to VPN to Canada or the UK to be able to play it. And this is not an easy process. I would wait until this game comes out on, globally, when it's globally released. And so, and just follow this channel. I mean, I didn't realize it's self-serving, but just follow it until it comes out. And then if you want to unsubscribe, go for it. But I'm going to keep you updated on when this game comes out and whether or not it's better or not. I'll probably make another video like this of Epic Ape Survival or Epic Ape Madness versus Frostborn once it goes global, because I imagine there will be a lot more things added, a lot more changes. We'll be able to get a much better taste on, are they going the Kefir route, or are they trying something new, and is that something new something we like? All right, guys, I'll see you next time.